Welcome to a very, very bright and chirpy episode on VJ's playlist because I'm joined by a singer-songwriter from New Delhi and she is possibly the songbird of the season, Vani Bhasin. Welcome. How are you?
I am great. First of all, thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, VJ. It is my pleasure to be here today.
Well, the pleasure is mine because when I'm listening to your songs, there is a huge sense of, it almost feels like, one speaks to a younger version of themselves, a side which could have done with, some sort of assurance, some sort of guidance, some sort of direction along the way, when they were making important decisions for themselves. And that's what I really love about, your songs that I have heard in recent memory. For those who are watching, Vani is just out with her new single, Brave. And like the title suggests, it's about a woman who finds strength in possibly the most adverse situation that she is in. But Vani, I think during the course of this interview, we also must talk about Spotlight, which is one of my favorite songs from your discography so far. But before we get to all that, a little bit about yourself, Vani, because it's so tragic that we have such amazing singer-songwriters in this country, and there's very little information out there in the discourse of the internet that's available about you guys. So if I have to like just go back to the basics and begin from everything, from how you started out and the jazz, as we would like to say. But for our viewers who would also want to know what Vani does, Vani is a singer-songwriter, but interestingly, she's also a dentist. Dentistry, I mean, that's very interesting, Vani. Tell us about how did music fall in the scheme of things for you while pursuing medicine on one hand?
Yeah. So, okay. So as you said, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm from Delhi. I think music and I go way back than dentistry and I do. I think ever since I was a child, I always had this inclination towards music and dancing and acting. And I was always this kid, who would take part in all these competitions. And my parents were so supportive. They would always push me to be on stage and just be out there. And I think I gained a lot of confidence because of that. So I think I definitely give it to my parents for giving me that primary push in life, to not be scared and yeah, just be myself on stage. And that is something that I enjoy even today. Every time when I go on stage, I think I'm like 100% myself, and it feels like meditation to me. So yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I used to sing and dance and act and do all these things. But I started taking music seriously when I was in ninth standard, and my mom made me join these guitar classes. And so guitar is my primary instrument. It's the I and then I just started learning and started enjoying music a bit more after that. And yeah, and then when I entered my dentistry, I realized that this is great. I mean, I was enjoying it a lot, but I started writing songs, and there's actually a story behind that. So
Go ahead, we are
actually,
all for stories.
before that, when I was in fourth standard, one of my teachers asked me to get my father to meet her. And I was so scared. I was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Because I was a very neat child, I was
Every
teaching.
growing child's nightmare, right? That the
Right,
teachers
exactly.
summoned your parents.
Yeah,
What have I
exactly.
done?
What have I done? I'm a good kid. So anyway, so then my father goes to see her and she just tells him that, we think that she has a lot of potential and that you should make sure that she learns music, because we just think that she's going to do great if you guys push her in this particular direction. But I never really learned. I mean, I tried, but my parents did try, but I was just like, sare gama was never my thing, and now I regret it. So that's one message I mean, whatever. So yeah. Then I entered my college, going back to the same story. I entered my college, and there was this competition called as Voice of Manav Rachna. And one of my batchmates put my name in, knowing that I sing and everything. And so there were some 85 participants, and I ended up winning that competition. And I think while I was performing on stage for that particular competition, I think I found my ardor. I I think that was the day. For me, that particular moment, like I said, when I'm on stage, I feel like I'm super present, but at the same time, I don't know. I think so, yeah. When I was on stage that day, I was performing this Demi Lovato's song called Every Time You Lie. Oof, I knew it. I think I knew it then that this is something that I really want to do for the rest of my life.
Tell me something, tell me something about this batchmate of yours who put in your name there. I mean, it is so interesting to know that we always are surrounded by these unsung heroes in our life who will somehow put our name somewhere, or, who will, call out our names in spaces that when we aren't really present there. And, these are the wind beneath our wings. Don't you think so?
You said it so damn rightfully. I 100% agree to that. And I find myself so fortunate because I have so many of these people in my life who are taking my names in rooms where I'm not even present, and in good spaces. So I think to have that in your life is the biggest achievement of all, you know? So yeah.
You spoke about Demi Lovato right now, and I am tempted to ask, like, do you remember some of the artists, you whose music you really heard and dug for days, and they were almost like second skin to you?
Yeah, definitely. So growing up, I was obsessed with Sunidhi Chauhan, ma'am. Obsessed. Literally obsessed. Okay.
How every one of us have a Sunidhi Chauhan story.
Absolutely. Then there came a time I think I was in my teens, and Disney Channel was the big thing. So I used to watch a lot of Hannah Montana. Oh my God. I used to I was in love, love, love with everything that was happening there. And then I grew up a bit more and I started listening to a bit of Taylor Swift, and then I'm a Swiftie for life. Oh my God, I love her. I love her so much. It's crazy. But yeah, there's Ed Sheeran, there's a lot of Eminem also. I've heard a lot of him, and Adele, Sia, Pink, Avril. I love her. Yeah, so there's all these people. I think, yeah. And there's this one thing that I read, a friend of mine shared with me. Every time someone would tell me that, oh, you sound a bit like Avril, or you sound a bit like Taylor in your song, or anything. So I would just feel a little like, oh, I want to sound like myself. So then this friend of mine comes up to me. Yeah, I mean, right? You want to be you.
True.
And then this friend of mine tells me that, so Ed Sheeran, Mr. Beautiful Ed Sheeran, he says ki we should never run away from our idols because, at the end of the
Hmm.
day, that's the amalgamation of all of them, whether we like it or not. So I think, yeah, that stuck with me, and now I don't mind.
Well, since you mentioned and you named all your influences, Vani, I think that clearly speaks highly about how all these influences reflect in your songwriting and in the way you deliver vocals for each of these songs. Because when I hear We Made Us, and then I hear Spotlight and I hear Brave, that the common thing I find in all of them is that these are very heavily inspired by women who have written about themes that only young girls and young women can understand, from heartbreak, from finding resolve, from finding direction in life. Uh, there's so much of, noise that surrounds, some, this kind of fanfare. There's so much of noise. There's some very critical opinions also where people think that, okay, these heartbreak songs or these young women um energies or the young women narrative sad girls narrative that, the likes of Taylor Swift and Adele all like to peddle. How do you look at that, Vani? I mean, how do you look at the fact that it is important that these songs exist in the pop culture space? Because very seldom do we find anything that actually strikes a dialogue around, matters of the heart for young women.
First of all, I want to say that that's a very good question. And wow. Yeah. And I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people, we see a lot of people writing about these themes, and a lot of young women writing about love and heartbreak and so many things. But yeah, you're right that, um what I feel is when I'm writing these songs, I'm mostly just writing about my experiences, but my aim is just this one thing, that, when someone out there is going through something similar, all I just want them to know that they're not alone in this, and it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's okay to feel whatever it is that we are feeling. Because a lot of the times we are asked to shrug off our feelings, and we are asked to, just let things be, and just be strong, and just be brave, and that's great. It's great if you can do that, but every now and then it's good to actually know that there's someone out there who feels the same way, and that we're not alone in it, whether it's sadness or happiness or heartbreak or joy, pure joy.
When you were, pursuing dentistry, at what, juncture did it sort of occur to you that, okay, I've learned this and great, especially in a country like ours where the prospect of pursuing music is not met with a very encouraging gaze. But uh, how did you convince yourself first, before it mattered that you also convince others around you? How did you convince yourself that, okay, I've studied dentistry, great, but music is what I want to do, music is where I want to build a career in?
Honestly, Vijay, I've spent a lot of nights literally crying in my bed, thinking that I will never be able to follow it, But I think deep down, I always knew that this is the only thing that can work out for me. Although I was a great student. I was good at it. I used to enjoy it. It's not that, I was miserable as a dentist, and it was nothing like that. But so that's why, I think choosing this was a little harder, because I knew that I can have a great career as a dentist as well. Um, but I think the little kid in me, who was 5 or 6, who always wanted to be on stage and just wanted to sing her feelings out and just have fun. I think I just wanted her to win in life, and me following this is me winning in life. And yeah, I did had to do a lot of convincing to myself first, uh, because it had to be a very smart decision, and I did not want it to come from an emotional space, but it did. But yeah, I made sure that and actually the thing is that I'm a big 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 believer, and sometimes my belief gets a little ekdam wavering ho jata hai, but I think I'm a big believer, and I believe in this thing called this law of attraction. So I think the more I'll attract it, the more it'll happen, and I practice it as much as I can in my everyday life. If there's something that I want, and universe has been very good to me. I find myself, I think the universe really loves me, and it works out. It always works out in the end. So yeah.
Let's speak about your initial collaborations. When you started out in 2019 as a singer
Right.
with, Bewafa and, Give You All, that you collaborated with Switchers. So just take us to, that phase where you met Switchers and you decided to, release these two songs.
Yeah. So I met them in 2018, and we first started talking about Bewafa, and it was my first time writing in Hindi, English, and Punjabi. Otherwise, I used to write my lyrics just in English. So it was a very challenging thing, but at the same time, a lot of fun, because you get to realize that okay, there's more that I can do, that there's more that can come out of me. And for that, I think it's it's a great thing to collaborate with other artists, because you get to learn a lot about your own space and the kind of work that can come out of you. Otherwise you stay in your same zone and you're writing the same songs and playing the same chords. So I think collaboration is something which is awesome. So that is what happened with this Bewafa collaboration also. And then I sang the song and it ended up being released through Z Music. It was my debut song, and I think that was a great deal for me. I still remember I was in my fourth year of college when all of this was happening, and I was literally running around because fourth year means 8 subjects. There are so many
Yeah.
patients that you have to see. And so I'm like in between patients, then I come back home and then I'm writing the song, or so it was a fabulous, fabulous experience for me. Yeah. I'll always remember it.
And then
And
when you
then,
find, sorry,
sorry. Yeah,
no, no,
nothing.
continue.
Then in the pandemic, yeah, and then in the pandemic, we started working on this other song called "Give You All," and for that, I did some compositions with them. Like, so they had come up with me with say something like, "'Cause I love you and I need you now." So I thought of doing it like, "'Cause I love you and I need you now." So, these kind of things. And then we had Give You All. And then again, I think in 2022 or 2020, yeah, 2022, I ended up opening with the Hindi version of this song. And I ended up opening for Euphoria band, which is another great story for me because they were the first band I had ever watched in my entire life. And I still remember I was literally crying in the audience that this is something that I need to do. This is something that I want to do. I really want to be on stage as well. So when I met them, I shared the story with them that you have been a very big inspiration for me in my journey.
Since you mentioned Euphoria, you have also opened for Jasleen Royal, Nikhil D'Souza, and Piyush Mishra. And you also play as part of the band with Colonial Cousins. How do what do you gauge from these experience? How do you look at, the kind of learnings that lie in these experiences? And what do you look so forward to when you're working with all these seasoned artists?
Oh my God. That's an amazing question because I have so much to say. I think as someone who is growing and learning to to work with these people, or like with the teams that they're traveling with, these are just such small things. Like, I didn't even know how to use the in-ear properly. And then, you're working with all of them, and then yeah, and just the way you have to put it in, or the levels that you have to set. And these are very small things, but when you're on the road with these guys and you see them perform, or the way, oh my God, the way Nikhil performs and the way he interacts with the audience, and I get to learn so much. It's crazy. And yeah, the way you're supposed to stand, the way you're supposed to hold the guitar, the it's I mean, I cannot say enough about it. There's just a lot of learning that I gain when I'm traveling with these people and opening for them.
Vani, I think it only makes sense that we highlight, both your amazing releases of the year, beginning with Spotlight, which I believe highlights your beautiful relationship that you share with your younger sister, Namya. Uh, and we will, of course, get to talking about Brave, but beginning with Spotlight, take us through what was it that you wanted to explore while writing this song?
Hmm. Yes. So this one fine day, I was sitting in our Mumbai apartment, and I was just sitting on the sofa, and I was just playing this guitar. I was playing something on my guitar, and I ended up mumbling something which was, and when I shine, la la la, take the spotlight. And then this one fine day, I was just revisiting this audio, and in that audio, I had sung, "Unlike me, you are strong." So, and the first person that I could think of was my sister, Namya. and there were no two thoughts about who is this song going to be about. So I ended up writing it for her, and then I ended up writing some lines for my mom and then my dad also. And the song ended up being a tribute to them and to everyone out there who has helped me take the spotlight in my life. And every time I sing the song, I tell this thing to the audience that, I don't want you to think that the song is for my family or, for my friends or anyone. I actually want you to close your eyes and think of the one person or anyone, your group of people who help you take the spotlight of your life. Because uh, not just artists get to be in the spotlight. I think we all individuals, we end up taking the spotlight every now and then, whether it's you, writing your beautiful stories and meeting your lovely people, or just having a good time with your family. So yes, that was the idea behind it. It was just a thank you note to everyone who helps you love life and who makes your life lighter and brighter.
A little birdie tells us that Namya, your sister, is also a singer.
Yes, she's a singer, she's a writer, she started with drums. She plays a lot of instruments, way more than I do. She plays the keys and the guitar, and she also acts, she models, and she just got done with her MSc psychology. So, but I think more than that, I just love her for her emotional intelligence. I think she's really good with it. So it's very inspiring for me.
Coming to Brave, I like I mentioned at the start of the interview, Brave talks a lot about, a younger version. Like when I was listening to the song, it felt like I was listening to a younger version of myself expressing what she's exactly going through, what is she exactly feeling, she has probably been at the receiving end of a lot of unfairness when it comes to matters of the heart, when it comes to love, the fact that she hasn't been given a fair she hasn't been dealt a fair hand. So take us through your mind space when you were writing the song, Vani. What from what place did this idea stem from?
Right. I actually love knowing what the audience take away from my song more than what I have to say, because you'll always end up realizing that whatever you wanted to, because we take up things with the mindset that we are in. So I'm pretty sure at one point in your life you must have felt that way, and that's why Brave made you get those emotions, the one you just mentioned. But for me, when I was writing Brave, it was a pure feeling of super one vulnerability, which is very, very difficult for me to express when I'm with someone. And it just talks about all my insecurities, and it's basically just about these two people who were so much in love and had shared so much joy at one point in life, but they don't feel it anymore. One of my favorite lines is, when your eyes have gone gray and you cannot look at me the same way. So that there was a time when I was the apple of your eye, and now you're just, it's not there anymore. You don't look at me with love. And so it's basically about fading love, and something which is very normal in relationships, that they fade away. They don't always stay. The magic does not always stay. The spark doesn't always stay. And slowly two people, they start drifting apart. And then I don't feel so brave when that happens. So that
I
was
was
the
looking at your sorry, go.
No, so that was the idea behind it, that I'm walking barefoot in this rain. And when I say that, that's a line I think which will always stay very close to my heart, because I think walking barefoot in rain has to be the most vulnerable that I've ever been. And walking barefoot in this rain, running away from the sane, because when you're going through all these emotions, you think that a lot of people will tell you, oh, you're just overthinking, oh no, everything's fine. Or maybe sometimes your partner is going to come up to you and be like, no, I'm fine, I'm normal. But but so I'm a I'm a deeply sensitive human being. I am ultra sensitive. So a little bit of change in someone's character towards me, and I'll feel it. And I think as a songwriter, it helps me, but as a person, it's tough. But yeah, it is what it is, and I appreciate all parts of me. So yeah, walking barefoot in this rain, running away from the sane, doing ballet with the pain.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this because you just mentioned about emotions that you can express as an artist versus expressing emotions as a person. Uh, which what which emotions are these that you feel that really put you in two different zones that you know that you are able to write better about these as an artist, but it really pains you to actually express them as a person.
Yes, 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 yes. So this one of my favorite songwriters says that the truth does not scare me in a melody, and I am with him 100%. When I'm writing something that I've been through or that I'm going through, it's a song, okay? It's a process. It's something, and I'm super unafraid to share that part of me. But when I have to deal with it, I have to sit myself through it. Oof, no, no, please let it be. I'd rather just write a song about it and just release it, and let the world know that there was a point in life. In fact, the next song that I'm working on is called Pages of Regret, and
Oh
the
my
person.
God. Can I please hear it right now? Because I have a lot of regret to talk about.
Exactly, for sure. And I ended up writing this song after a friend of mine left my house, and I sat with my diary and I literally wrote pages and pages of regret of why we could never be. And literally, and I just took out those words and I turned them into a song. Literally.
Mani, coming
Definitely.
to the last few questions that I have before we wrap up a really heartfelt interview.
Yes.
I know that you really walk into a lot of gigs of singer-songwriters and people you look up to in the scene as not just your inspiration, but also as people you just want to be with. These are the people whose energies you love to be surrounded by, and you would love to exchange a very generous conversation that adds to your insight. So if I have to ask you, who are some of your favorite singer-songwriters you love listening to when you are unwinding or when you just want to, plug in your earphones and, you know, switch on a streaming app of your choice?
Hmm. Honestly, BJ, there are so many of them, and I'm so grateful to be present in the scene at a time when these people exist and when I can actually go up to them and talk to them because I fangirl a lot. I'm a fan. So one of them has to be Kamakshi Khanna. I love her music. I love the I love the originality in her songwriting. I feel like I relate to her a lot, and uh, and she's so shamelessly herself, and that is something I love in artists. I love it. Yeah, that is something like she owns it up. She's not trying to hide behind words or anything, and that is something I think is flawless. And then there's Utsavi Jha. She's a very dear friend of mine, and I love everything that she does. And um, yeah, even with her songwriting, especially the bridge of her recent song Khata. I was just telling this to her the other day that it gave me literal chills. And there's Raghav and Raghav Miatal, that is. He and I love his songs. I love there's this song by him called She Can Bet Those Eyes and Get Away with Crime. And I keep telling him that I love that song. But more than him as a musician, I admire him as a person so much. It's crazy. I admire everything that he is and everything that he aims to be. And I know that that guy is going to kill it. He's killing it right now, but I know that like
Yes.
the sky is the limit for that man. I mean, I admire him so much for the person that he is. Yeah.
Vani, I was going through your Spotify profile, and it's a very interesting observation that I came across that while you are based in Delhi, your top five cities where your listeners are actually tuning into and streaming your music does not feature Delhi anywhere. Interestingly, it begins with Guwahati, followed by Mumbai, then there is Pune, there is Bengaluru, and there is Kolkata, which usually speaks about how we like to believe, or rather, how we almost, drown ourselves in self doubt, thinking, uh, who will be listening or who will be watching, what we are doing and what we are creating. But this is the power of, the resources that we now have at our disposal, that you have listeners from varied cities tuning in and listening to what you are creating. So how do you look at that?
Well, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I need to reach out to more of my Delhi friends. What are they doing in life? Yeah, I mean, what? You guys are not streaming my music enough? We are going to have
छी,
a
दिल्ली
good,
वालों का नाम
good.
खराब कर दिया
दिल्ली वालों का नाम खराब कर दिया। आज उन लोगों से अच्छी बात करेंगे हम। But anyway, yeah. But oh my God, Guwahati. Yeah, I think I've never been to Guwahati. I don't know many people from Guwahati. So now I'm super excited to go to Guwahati and play there. And Bombay, well, I have a lot of love for Bombay. I think I'm more of a Bombay girl. I'm just stuck in Delhi. So that is something I feel now. And with Kolkata and Bangalore, I think that is because I did my shows there, and I got a lot of love from the audience while I was there. So I think it's just them, just yeah.
Can you, do you recollect a very heartfelt fan moment that, has like it will always find a very special place, in your chest of memories?
Yes. So a fan moment, I will tell you, but before that, I have to share my biggest, like the happiest moment, which I got to know through my sister, that one of her very close friends gives her a call and tells her that my sister's friend was driving in Lucknow with her younger sister, and they're
Okay.
driving around, and she plays We Made Us, and her younger sister flips out and is like, oh my God, you know this song? Oh, and the friend goes like, know this song? I know this girl. She's my friend. She's my friend's sister. And goes like, what? We love her so much. Everyone in my class, we are crazy for this song and blah, 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 something like that. And while I was writing We Made Us, I would have never thought that some 11th graders in Lucknow are someday going to listen to my song and talk about it in their class. And so, oh, that will ah. I've never met them. I've never seen them, but that story will always have will stay in my heart forever.
Lastly, Vani, the possibilities are endless. The fact that we have young artists right now who have released their debuts or this year and are performing at big ticket festivals, in the year to come. How do you look at uh, what do you foresee for yourself?
Hmm. Foresee myself playing at all these festivals very, very soon. And I'm currently working on an EP, which I'm planning to release next year. And for now, my life had been a little too unstable and a little too flowy. So all I want to do is I just want to flow with it. I just want to make good music. I just want to put my heart out there. I want to share all these songs with people and just let the universe take care of the rest. That's my plan for now.
So you are focused more on the process. It does, all the number games and the noise about the music business. You won't let that get to you.
For now, no. I just want to make good music. I don't want to think too much. I don't want to think that, oh, I need to make a 2-minute song for my song to, have better reach. No, I'm going to make a 5-minute song if that's what I want to do. And call me crazy, but I think that is what I need in life for now. Yeah.
And to young artists, who are contemplating on starting out right now, what is that one message, or what is that one piece of advice that you would want to give it to them?
Start today, start now. It's worth it. And be on fire for something that makes you feel so alive. Don't second guess yourself.
Don't second guess yourself. That's right. Thank you so much, Vani, for taking the time out to speak to me on VJ's playlist. This really feels like now that I am speaking to my own younger sister, and I really hope that she comes into the spotlight very soon and she finds her moment under the sun. Thank you so much, Vani, and I wish you all the very best, not just for Brave, but for all the other Brave releases that you're going to be putting out in future for all of us. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, Vijay. There's just one thing that I want to say to your beautiful listeners, that that I really admire you and I love you for the woman that you are. You no crying, no crying.
Okay.
And yes, you make the music industry so much more fuller and better and brighter and beautiful. So thank you so much for existing in our lives. We love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes.